Like and subscribe down, or you're gonna have bad luck this week.
Have you ever witnessed something so fascinating for the first time that you know you won't forget? No matter what, until your last breath, you only need to be in the right place at the right time. We can almost guarantee that you will have never seen anything as strange, peculiar, and jaw-dropping as the things we're about to show you. From giant Minotaur to shiny waterfall, here is a list of things you will see for the very first time in your life. Number 10. Giant Minotaur. Your city could be cool, but it isn't giant Minotaur carrying a flaming torch walking in the streets cool. No? Well, we didn't think so. Toulouse is a small city in France with a big event. The French creative company La Machine created a nearly 50-foot tall robotic Minotaur and made the beast march through the complex streets of the city's old town. This show, called The Guardian of the Temple, ran for 4 days, and the Minotaur was also accompanied by a 42-foot spider. Ugh. These impressive kinetic sculptures had people inside them playing classical music, and the whole thing was showcased to 600,000 people. This is the type of city we'd like to live in our next life, wouldn't you? Number 9. Shark stomach. After a season of particularly nasty food poisoning, you might be forgiven for using the expression puking my guts out. But then you haven't. Not really. You just threw up your stomach contents. Your tummy and intestines stayed inside your body. Not so with this shark. They have a neat trick called gastric eversion up their proverbial sleeve. Basically, if a shark wants or needs to eject its belly contents, it just flips its stomach out of its mouth and everything goes flying. A little like dumping out your pockets to empty them. In sharks' cases, they just need to clean all that debris that begins to gather in their belly after meals. Bones, feathers, turtle shells, anything that a shark should not have consumed must also be ejected this way. Believe it or not, some gluttonous sharks will even vomit, simply so they can eat more. Sharks feeding on baleen whale carcasses are known to vomit once full and then immediately return to eating. And here I thought camels were weird for puking out their stomachs. Number 8. Knickers, the Holstein Friesian. Some of you might have seen this, but for others who haven't, this gigantic steer is a whopping 2 meters or 6 feet and 4 inches tall. This means he's 2 inches taller than Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he weighs roughly 2,800 pounds, which is the approximate equivalent of 14.5 Danny DeVitos. So there's no denying that this cow stands out from the herd. You might not believe this, but Knickers actually isn't a giant. It's just that people don't usually get to see an adult full-grown Holstein like him. They're usually slaughtered right after their second birthdays. If a Holstein does reach adulthood like 7-year-old Knickers, then they're simply too large to fit through the butchering equipment. That's the reason Knickers has been spared by his owner, Jeff Pearson, a cattle farmer from Australia. Knickers is always the herd's guardian angel, as he shows the smaller cows where they should walk and graze and protects them from danger. Such a fatherly figure. Number 7. Fish Cafe. Animal cafes where you can enjoy a hot cup of coffee and pet a cute animal like cats, dogs, and even sheep have been springing up all over the world. But have you ever seen a cafe where you can relax as dozens of decorative fish swim at your feet? Unless you're from Vietnam, we doubt that. Located in Vietnam's capital, Ho Chi Minh City, Amex Coffee features 2 flooded floors filled with hundreds of fish, both small and large. Each floor covers an area of 20 square meters, and the water level is up to 25 centimeters deep. In order to gain access to these man-made ponds full of colorful fish, visitors are required to take off their shoes and clean their feet. They can then enjoy a wide range of refreshments and snacks as Japanese carp and other small fish swim at their feet. If you plan on relaxing here, don't take the kids with you because they will start running after the peaceful fish, which isn't allowed. Does this look relaxing to you? Number 6. Dumbo Octopus. Humans know more about our galaxy than the waters of the Earth, and let's not even get into how mysterious Mariana's Trench is. Down there exist things that very few people have seen in real life. out of which Dumbo octopus is probably the cutest. It looks just like a creature Walt Disney would invest millions of dollars in. It has cute little Dumbo-like elephant ears atop a 12-inch body. The adorable animal also has precious wiggly ears and a delightful mouth that only adds to its cartoonish look. Dumbo may look dainty, but it's actually strong enough to make it to the deepest dwelling octopus is known to science. It prefers to make its home down between 9,800 and 13,000 feet. When you think of octopuses, you probably think of an animal with nothing but 8 tentacles. The Dumbo, however, falls into a category of so-called umbrella octopuses, with webbed tentacles that give them an umbrella appearance. Unlike most octopuses, this species doesn't munch and grind food with a beak-like mouth. Instead, it simply swallows its prey whole. So if you happen to be on the Dumbo octopus's menu, it probably doesn't seem nearly as cute. Number 5. Sea anemone. Talking about sea creatures, an anemone is something that is often mistaken for a sea plant, but they are actually animals that just move really slow, that people haven't really seen them act like other living creatures. Well, until now. This clip shows a sea anemone that is in danger as a sea star is coming over slowly to devour it, but anemones hops, wobbles, and takes off. It uproots itself, and the sea anemone is off and away, launching a wiggly escape from the predator. Not every anemone can act like this, but it is actually a Stomphia coccinea, a sea anemone that can detach from a location and hop or swim away from danger. Not today, sea star, not today. Number 4. Obsidian rock. Rocks are mostly termed as basic, and no one really pays any attention to them unless they are geologists, and it's literally their job to do so. At first glance, this small piece of rock looks as normal as any other rock, but it's what's inside that will blow your mind away. One clean collision with another rock shows its inside, which is completely shiny black and looks jaw-dropping. This magnificent rock is called the obsidian rock, which is a naturally occurring glass formed during the cooling down of lava. If you get a hold of obsidian rock, handle it with care because it can shatter like glass and cause blindness. Primitive people used this rock as a weapon, which they used on a spear as it is harder than surgical steel. Magnificent, yet so dangerous. Number 3. Whistled languages. Long before humans came up with the concept of language that includes words, they used to communicate and whistle. Tourists visiting remote villages in northern Turkey can often hear locals communicating over long distances by whistling. Not a tune, but the Turkish language. The locals communicate in the Turkish bird language, locally called Kustili, one of the last vestiges of much more widespread use of whistled languages. In at least 80 cultures worldwide, people have developed whistled versions of the local language when the circumstances call for it. To linguists, such adaptations are more than just a curiosity. By studying whistled languages, they hope to learn more about how our brains extract meaning from the complex sound patterns of speech. Whistling may even provide a glimpse of one of the most dramatic leaps forward in human evolution, the origin of language itself. Number 2. Soft stones. Seeing something like soft stones can make you think that you might be living in some other alternate universe where stones are soft and can take any shape and form. Unfortunately, you are still living on boring old Earth, but with some amazing people around, just like this artist, Jose Manuel Castro Lopez. He is the person behind these mysterious and deformed-looking stones. You see, this form of art is actually just sculpting. Jose works with large and small rocks to transform hard surfaces into gentle fabric-like creases. Each sculpture begins as a regular piece of quartz or granite, which he delicately grinds down to reveal peculiar wrinkled shapes as if the rock had always existed this way. Number 1. Horsetail Fall. At first glance, this waterfall looks like a fireball, but we are sorry to disappoint you. It is just another normal waterfall, which becomes a fireball in the second week of February, and looks like something out of the heavens. Around that time, the settling sun hits Horsetail Falls at just the right angle to illuminate the upper reaches of the waterfall, and when conditions are perfect, Horsetail Fall glows orange and red at sunset. Hundreds of spectators gather in Yosemite National Park to witness this amazing event, but the Yosemite Firefall can be finicky. Although Horsetail Fall is visible from multiple viewpoints in Yosemite Valley, several factors must meet to trigger the waterfall. If conditions are not perfect, the Yosemite Firefall will not glow. Nature can be really amazing, right? Which one of these had you seen before? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.